Hi, it's me. I know. Where have I been? I'm so mysterious. It's Lunazora. I kind of fell off the face of the earth for a little bit because summer was over and I was busy, and keeping up with videos while you're trying to do a million other things is really difficult. With Christmas break or holiday break coming up, and we're about to have Thanksgiving break. So I get a week for that, and then 2 weeks for the holidays. Hopefully I should record more. I've kind of had more of a want to record. Sorry for the little break there. I just wrapped up with my final SCAD class of the quarter. And she just had like a final thing to say before we all got off. But I do miss sitting down and making videos and talking and editing and all these things, but it's kind of hard when I'm enrolled in 3 schools and I've been trying to be more active and I have to make time for my friends and just a lot to do. This overall will be more of a health update and to review if you haven't been here. I have an undiagnosed autoimmune disorder until today. We thought it was lupus, wasn't lupus, went to go see a specialist. Specialist basically said, "You don't have anything, loser." He didn't call me a loser, but he might as well have. And I had a colonoscopy, and I think that's about where I ended things. I didn't update on the results of my colonoscopy and my follow-up, which might have scared a few people. Sorry. Turns out my polyps were nothing serious. It was like once they were removed, it was fine. I will have another colonoscopy in 5 years because of my family history. But everything on that front is okay, as far as I know. Got over a really gnarly sinus infection last week that apparently I've had on and off for 2 months. Yay. I kind of thought it was my autoimmune disorder developing and I was just going to get sick every other week, and that was a really scary thought to have. So, but autoimmune-wise, I had another appointment with rheumatology today, and the wonderful woman that I've been seeing, the mid-level, she was going over blood work today, and when I got the blood work done, because I can see my blood work before my appointment, there's like an app where you can see it once it comes through, and it did say that, because this was a new panel that she wanted to run, if you don't know, panel is just like the set of tests that you get. My rheumatoid factor was positive, and a lot of people are like, rheumatoid arthritis, and that not necessarily. It can indicate a couple of things, but I saw that and I got really disappointed, and I was like, I thought we would have learned more. Turns out that was a very big deal, and I didn't know that. So I have now hit, because of my ANA, rheumatoid factor, joint pain, and fatigue, I have hit 4 markers for what they call uctd. What's that? It's like, so they can't diagnose me with anything, and I might not even like have anything, but uctd is like underlying tissue connective disorder or something like that. But basically it can lead to these 4 different diseases. So it can either go to rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, Sjogren's, or scleroma, something like that. She's not thinking it's that one. And of course I could just have uctd for the rest of my life and it never becomes anything. But these 4 kind of work in a little Venn diagram square and they can overlap, so I could get lupus and Sjogren's and whatever mixture. But it's these 4 that have similar symptoms, and now finally that I have hit these markers for uctd, they can medicate me. So I'm now going on this thing. Let me find the name so I'm not like being stupid. It's Plaquenil. Apparently this medication was used to treat malaria for missionaries. So they found out when they were giving a whole bunch of missionaries this malaria drug that all of these people that had like rheumatoid disorders, their symptoms were coming away. So they started using it for people with uctd, other types of autoimmune disorders, etc. But that's cool and exciting, and I haven't really like gotten excited about it yet, because after my appointment I was like, I have to get back for class and I have to do my workout, which I still have to do. I've been like actually working out, which I'll probably talk about in a minute. But yeah, it's weird to be disabled and have no proof that you're disabled. And it is weird to go through the world hearing ableist things without really being able to say, hey, here's why you shouldn't say ableist things around me because I'm disabled. And you can't really like show them any proof that like I have this, I have that. And, you know, and obviously a lot of the things that I hear that are ableist aren't like towards me, but it's like, those are my homies, you know? I'm like, don't talk about us like that. But it's weird to feel like you're constantly fighting to be like, I'm disabled, I'm not in a wheelchair, and I'm not like on crutches, and I'm not bedridden, but I'm disabled, it's me, hello. Like, and you know, I am a little in people's faces about it. I mean, I make a lot of jokes about it, but like, I think that's important. And I think if people are uncomfortable with me mentioning my disability, they have further problems that they need to think about for themselves, because, you know, it's my condition. I can talk about my condition however much I want, you know, however many people like make jokes about their anxiety or depression or OCD or whatever, which we'll come back to the mental health thing. But like, it's the same thing with like being gay and like making jokes about being gay. It's like, if you have a problem with me constantly mentioning that I'm queer, maybe you're having a couple not so good tendencies in your brain, and that's a you problem. So, I've also been going to my psychiatrist pretty regularly. She's actually not going to be back in the office until January, and I was supposed to have an appointment a little bit earlier, but I've been doing really well on my Prozac, on my 20 milligrams since I upped. So that's cool. I'm down. I'm like, okay, if there's an issue, I'll like go see whoever is in place of her, but I'm good until then. But, this section might make people a little mad. If you are anti-self-diagnosis, again, think on that a little. Not a lot of people have the resources to get diagnosed with certain things, so before I even get into this topic, like, if you were like, brah, it's self-diagnosis bad, then maybe take a second and breathe, or maybe don't watch this part. But I basically self-diagnosed myself with OCD. And this might get a little trigger warning-y for some people, like hyper-fixated stuff, and, you know, so if you have OCD and, like, hearing about that triggers you, I will put in the description when to skip to. So just go check the description, and I'll be like, OCD people clear at this number. But, I was thinking about some of my OCD tendencies, and And I'm not like using that as an adjective. I'm like, actually, like, my mom, you know, has diagnosed OCD. And I like know what that looks like. And I have a couple people that I know that are diagnosed with OCD. Some people that are self-diagnosed with OCD. But a while ago, at one of my psychiatry appointments, I was talking because after a year or so, you have to basically redo your treatment plan. And so they're like, do you have anything else you want to talk about? Do you want to go back to therapy, et cetera, et cetera? And I was like, no, but I am interested in maybe testing for OCD. Like, how would I go about that? And I was basically told, if your symptoms are not inflicting with your life, we don't test you. And then that night I proceeded to go home and obsessively pick the skin off my feet pretty much until I went to bed. Which maybe that was me being in my own head, but that's also a very OCD thing, is, you know, hearing about like OCD related stuff and then being like, oh yeah, I can hyperfixate on an action. But sometimes I do have these moments where I cannot do anything else unless I fix a certain thing. I had a thing with a friend like a week ago where she sent me a video on Instagram and I could not play it. And like, if I can't clear my Instagram photo or video notifications, like I can't. No. So I literally spent maybe 30 minutes trying to get this video to play. I uninstalled Instagram, I restarted my phone, like everything possible. And then I was like, can you unsend this and send this as a normal video? Like, I'm trying to go to bed and I cannot sleep. So she did. She sent it as a normal video. But there are definitely things that I do that are not normal, and that's not how brains work. And I basically was like, you know what? My mom has OCD. It's probable that I have OCD. I have all these things that are most likely OCD. If they're not going to test me, I'm just going to say that I have it because that makes sense to me. And again, I'm not trying to say it in the way where like, I'm so OCD because I like to clean things. Like, you know, a genuine, I cannot stop doing this thing until it's this. So, yeah, made that decision. Which hasn't really like changed a whole lot in my life, but it's more so like, I feel like those behaviors make a little bit more sense now that I'm like, oh, I probably do have that. In general health news, I've been trying to hella hydrate, which I've been doing a bad job today. Real bad job today. So we need to get on that. This is only my second bottle of water today after my coffee, so yikes. But I recently had some blood work that came back where I had really high triglycerides, and after going vegan, that's apparently very common. Baby vegans will be like, oh no, I guess I can only eat carbs because they like don't know what to do. So I was eating a lot of pasta at the time, and also they were non-fasting labs. So basically all the stuff was still in my system. So it's possible that my triglycerides were only so high because I wasn't fasting and I like had pasta the night before or something. But either way, this section, if talking about like weight loss or weight or anything is triggering for you, I will again post another thing in the description of the video. But I decided that I wanted to start losing some weight because that's a thing with triglycerides that can also help. And just in general, I don't know, I've kind of been on like a health kick. I'm like a white mom. But no, actually, I've been doing this 5K program with my Garmin watch because I was doing cross country for a little bit and then I quit because I could not keep waking up at 4 a.m. It was not reasonable. So it was like actually driving me into the ground. So I started running by myself. And let me see when I started that. Because it's a whole 5K program. It like starts you and, you know, it says, oh, your run's going to be this day, which my run will be December 3rd. I started this a little bit after my birthday, actually, September 18th. So yeah, December 3rd, I will be running a 5K, not like in any race or anything, just like for myself, which is funny because my mom also wants me to go to this Christmas parade that same day, so I have to wake up and then go to the Christmas parade and then go home and run a 5K. So I've been running 3 times a week. I try to work out on the days that I'm not running. I've been walking with my dog, because she also needs to lose a little. Not that I need to lose a little, but she actually needs to lose a little health-wise. Like, her hips hurt and, so I walk her every day about 3 laps around her house, which is like 3/4 of a mile. But I've just been trying overall to be a little more fit. And at this point in my life, I'd either like to maintain or lose weight. Not really looking to go back up near 220, at 213.6 right now. And I weigh in every Thursday, and it's a Thursday, so I weighed in today. But yeah, if that doesn't work and like the current things I'm doing, because I'm not tracking my food, I can't do that for forever. I did it for a little bit after the triglycerides because I want to make sure that I wasn't having too many carbs, but I can't mentally do that for an extended period of time with how many like people that I know that have eating disorders. Like, I get very in my head about, maybe paying this much attention to what I'm intaking is not a good thing. So, yeah, I just don't do it for very long, maybe 2 weeks at a time if I do need to. So if the whole not tracking my food and just trying to kind of do it off of whim doesn't work, I may have to look into other methods, but I know long-term tracking my food is not going to be healthy for me. So I guess we'll just have to see. But overall, I've been doing good, and working out regularly has been good for me and my joints and my energy. So yeah, I think that's all of the health related things. But yeah, I do miss making videos. I'm sure some people miss seeing videos. Maybe some people don't. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to come on here and say, hey, I did survive my colonoscopy, and I have uctD. So we will see how all of that goes. And yeah, I will see you whenever.